Good morning and welcome. We are doing activity 2.4. You're on page 109 in your SpringBoard book. You have two learning targets today. Please number them 1 and 2. Number 1 says, analyze text and create a visual display that explains a society's way of life and the protagonist's place in that society. Number 2, analyze the significance of specific passages to interpret the relationship between character and setting. You're going to be doing both of these things. Please number them. Throughout the lesson, you'll be visualizing, questioning the text, predicting, graphic organizer, note-taking, and discussion groups. Who can read questioning the text? A level 1 question is literal. The answer can be found in the text. A level 2 question is interpretive. The answer can be inferred based on textual evidence. So it goes a little easy question, a little harder with a level 2. A level 3 question is universal. The answer is about a concept or idea beyond the text. So a real life problem, a real world problem. So what I want you to do is you are going to fill out the answers here for a level 1 question for the Harrison Bergen article and the Grant and Lee article. So this is a level 1 question. Please fill out who calls himself the emperor. That's literal. It can be found in the text. It's our easiest level question. Grant and Lee, what famous historical occasion does the essay highlight? Please fill that out. Okay, level 2, an interpretive question. Why does George react to the death of his son? And then the Grant and Lee article, how are the backgrounds of the two men fundamentally different? You are inferring based on the text that you read. It's a little more difficult of a question. Okay, level 3 question, a universal question. How is society in conflict with the individual? For the Harrison Bergen article. And then Grant and Lee, how can leaders of such divisive causes create a sense of a peaceful future? So now you're applying it to the real world. Please write these down as examples. You are going to have to do this for the giver. You're going to have to come up with a level 1 question, a level 2 question, and a level 3 question. Next, what I want you to do is read this short little paragraph on science fiction. It tells you all about science fiction, and I want you to highlight the characteristics of science fiction. Please read that silently and highlight now. Okay, then at the top of the page, I want to make sure that you know what universal means. So please read universal. Please read this definition to your shoulder partner. It is on the test. Okay, you also need to know what an antagonist is. Please read this definition to your shoulder partner. All right, on the test, you'll need to know theme. I'm going to highlight that. Please highlight theme in your book. Characterization, antagonist, and evidence. You're using evidence to pull out as you read. So please read the definition of theme to your shoulder partner, then read characterization to your shoulder partner, and, obviously talk about what an antagonist is, and then read evidence to your shoulder partner. So I would like you to read these with your shoulder partner for a couple minutes, and then we are going to go over what we're doing during the reading. Okay, next section we have before reading. The cover art of a novel tries to represent important aspects or content of the novel. Study the cover of your novel to make predictions about the story. So look at the front of your novel. What can you predict it's going to be about? Based on the reading and the genre of your story, you are going to make a prediction, what you think the setting is about, the characters, plot, and theme. Okay, during reading, you're going to use this graphic organizer to take notes that reveals important information about the protagonist and setting. Then make inferences based on the evidence. So under evidence, you need to put a quote. So please write quotes. Then you need the author and the page number, and then you close the quote. You have the evidence, author, page number, close the quote. So you need to find the protagonist, setting, and then infer. In the directions, it says then make inferences based on evidence. So you're looking for something that reveals important information about the dystopian society. Then in your reader-writer notebook, you're going to make a personal vocabulary list. Identify, record, and define in context at least 5 new words. Plan to do this for every reading assignment. So I will show you in our composition notebook how to do this. So every time we read, you're looking for 5 new words. You're going to record and define it, just like we do when we use metacognitive markers, but we're writing it down in our notebooks. Number 5, select and record an interesting quotation relating to the protagonist or setting that you think is important to understand the conflict or theme. Then analyze the idea and form 2 thoughtful questions for discussion. So you're going to have to come up with a level 1 question and a level 2 question about a quotation that you find that you think is interesting. So under the quotation, you are going to find a quote in the text, so please draw a quote, and it's any quote that you find interesting. Then your analysis, so how does it relate to a dystopian society or try to enforce a utopian society? Then you need to have a level 1 question, and this is just an example, but it says, what does it mean to release someone from the giver? A level 2 question, why is the ceremony of 12 so important? The giver. Okay, so you are doing a level 1 question and a level 2 question today. Afterwards, you are going to create a visual display to illustrate the society's way of life. You're going to be doing this in groups. You have to have the protagonist's place in the story, and you may choose visuals such as photographs, or you can create a drawing. But in your group, you're going to create a society and assign a job to each person in your group based on their personality and what you assume they are good at. Each person will not have a say in their determined job. You do need to include the protagonist, so you might want to write this down, protagonist, and the society's way of life based on what you have read so far, and then everybody in your group is going to get a job. So I'm going to hand out poster paper, markers, and your group can only discuss that person. You cannot ask them, hey, what are you good at? Or hey, what do you want to be when you grow up? You are making that decision for them, just like a predetermined society would be in a dystopian society. All right, here we go.